And today, we are honored to have a royal master all the way from Russia visiting us. I would like to take a moment to introduce her to all of you. She is Irina Kurbangaleeva, an active and passionate professional in her field. At the beginning of her impressive career, she worked as a train attendant. Then, after completing further training and gaining experience, she became a train chief. And then, her journey continued even further. She discovered Atomy products. After studying the philosophy behind these products, she fell in love with them and became the woman who tried every Atomy product. From that moment, her daily life began to change. How does her morning start? Irina, wake up! Get up! Get up! It is a brand new day! Maybe I should also change my alarm clock to Kimokina. Irina is so sweet. Kimokina exactly, just like Kimokina.
Yes, I met Irina for the first time. I immediately thought that she was very... Irina consistently made it a point to bring Tengyu along with her to every single academic seminar we attended together. And it became very clear to me right from the start that this particular person was someone of great significance.
It was widely anticipated that the venture would be highly successful and prosperous within the specific geographic region of Vietcom during this period. Furthermore, it is also worth noting that
one change in his life was that family became the most important life scenario for him. Before Atomy, she lived with her mother, and now she can already afford a house in the Krasnodar region. And all this is thanks to Atomy, how vividly her life scenario was written. And after that, many changes happened, and now it has become her reality. So the new royal master, Irina Kurbangaleeva. Good evening.
I am the new royal master representing the beautiful country of Russia. My name is Irina Kurbangaleeva. I am truly honored and incredibly glad to have this wonderful opportunity to stand before you today at this prestigious awards ceremony. It is a significant milestone for me to deliver a formal speech here at the renowned Korean Academy of Success, an institution that inspires so many. When I was first starting out on this journey, when I was 20 years old, the situation in Russia was changing from the former Soviet Union to the CIS system. So at that time, things were incredibly unstable. The economy was suffering greatly. In order to raise our 2 children, my husband and I had to work 2 different jobs to survive. I was a train conductor on the Moscow-Khabarovsk route, which took 10 full days for a round trip, 10 long days. And I also held in the trading industry. One day, one of the passengers I met on the train was running a multi-level business in another company. We kept in touch and soon started working together as a side job. But unfortunately, that company went bankrupt. It turned out I had closed my own business for nothing. But after some time had passed, this person called me again. His important Korean friend was coming to Vladivostok. And so he suggested that we meet up together. I eventually decided to agree to his proposal. And can you guess where he took me? Yes, it was a seminar about Atomy. Having faced a difficult failure the first time, it was quite difficult for me to trust again the second time around. But after the seminar had concluded, the Crown Master who gave the lecture kindly paid for a full dinner at a luxurious hotel restaurant for about 30 people. I was very surprised by his generosity. That he was able to earn so much money in a multi-level marketing company that he could bring us to such an expensive place. Moreover, I could never have imagined that I would be sitting in such a restaurant that evening. After the event ended, I firmly decided to start a business with Atomy. My colleagues from the railway kept asking why I decided to get involved in multi-level marketing. business? And I answered that in order to truly fulfill my lifelong dream, I need much more money than I currently have right now. You know, about 27 years ago, there was a devastating fire in my house. The fire suddenly broke out. When my husband had gone to work, I stepped out to a neighbor's house for just a short while, leaving the child alone at home while he was sleeping. Tragically, the entire house burned down to the ground, leaving absolutely nothing behind. Even my young son was taken away to a much better world. The cause of the devastating fire remained completely unknown. After that tragic event, life became incredibly hard for me. Every single day, with a heavy and broken heart, I constantly thought about my son. But since I had no home to live in, no clothes to wear, and no household items, I simply had no time to grieve. And I had to work extremely hard to earn money. I worked so hard and always kept my dream at the forefront of my mind. That's why I tirelessly strove to earn more and even more. And when I finally encountered Atomy, I felt, this is it. This is my big chance. That's how I started my business journey with Atomy. When I first started doing Atomy as a side job, I would mostly order the famous toothpaste and the toothbrushes as well. The evening care set for nighttime skincare, and I would give gifts to everyone around me. Since I myself fell in love with Atomy products, I had no doubt that others would like them too, so I started giving them to acquaintances who were simply interested in the global multi-level business. And indeed, everyone who ever received a gift from me ended up joining the Atomy business, one of the most beloved products among Atomy users. Let's talk about the evening care set from Atomy. If you have ever been to a professional spa, then you know exactly how much high-quality self-care can cost you. With this comprehensive evening care set from Atomy, you not only get those professional salon-quality results at home, but you also save your hard-earned money, especially in difficult financial situations. This product saves your monthly budget, and it simultaneously saves your skin. It truly makes a difference. It makes everything look so beautiful and healthy. And just take a moment to look at the stunning packaging of these wonderful products. The enthusiastic participants who came to see me would often throw away their empty boxes in the nearby trash bins, which naturally attracted the curious attention of many passers-by. They would also come over to talk to me. In this way, I was gradually able to register more and more people into the program, and I started thinking about quitting my job for good. After discussing it with my husband, I decided to quit my job and start doing business. I was working full-time anyway. My husband decided to work once every 2 months at his job as a freight forwarder. In the months when my husband was working, I stayed at home to look after the children. I would call clients in each region who bought products from me and ask if there were any products they wanted to order. I actively promoted Atomy to strangers and looked for active clients to help them become successful distributors. The first step is always the hardest part. But I'm not the kind of person who focuses only on difficulties. I simply decided to take action. Since Russia is a very large country, traveling by train from one city to another often took anywhere from 7 to 12 hours. During that incredibly busy month, I managed to visit 28 different regions. Even now, I continue to travel to many various places, but these days I primarily travel by plane for speed and comfort. My journeys take me not only across the vast expanse of Russia, but also far abroad to many other countries, where I have the pleasure of meeting dedicated Atomy users. One night, very late at night, when everything was quiet, all alone, I arrived in a completely unfamiliar city in Russia. It was an intimidating city in a very strange and unfamiliar place. And then a complete stranger started trying to talk to me. I got so scared and I just ran away quickly. I felt anxious and I sensed a real danger. And when I think back on it all now, that trip seems so incredibly brave and yet so reckless. But as a direct result of that experience, as a result of challenging myself, in just 1 month, I already had more than 1,000 active clients. I also gained partners in different regions who truly wanted to do business with me. Are you curious about which specific places I visited? I traveled to many different cities, from the port of Nakodka to the city of Irkutsk, from snowy Yakutsk to historic Kazan, and in the far south down to Makachkala. In particular, the partners I met in Birobidzhan and Yakutsk had more connections than I did and possessed a better business sense. To meet my partner in Yakutsk, I had to fly from where I lived to Moscow, which took 6 long hours. That was 6 hours by plane just to get there, and then I flew another 5 hours from Moscow, making it a total of 11 hours. But looking back, that meeting was definitely worth all the effort. Together with my business partner, we quickly registered 2,000 members. And now, these people are the veteran Atomy masters who continue to work actively and travel with me across Russia in search of future business partners. They are truly precious partners who are still working very hard with me in the business, preparing to become royal masters. When I first started earning 200,000 rubles a month, well, that's about 3 million won in total. To support me, my husband decided to quit his job and became a stay-at-home dad. He took over the responsibility of taking care of our children and managing the daily housework just to provide me with comfortable conditions for my professional advancement. And when my business partners saw this arrangement, they were so inspired that they also asked their husbands to quit their jobs and become stay-at-home dads as well. What I like most about running this Atomy business is that absolutely nothing prevents me from spending time with my family, and the range of opportunities only keeps expanding over time. I bought a car that I could never have afforded if it weren't for my career working at Atomy. And when my granddaughter was born, we bought a second car for the family. I also bought a small, cozy apartment in the Russian Far East. And now I have finally moved into a mansion in a warm climate. In the beautiful Krasnodar region, not far from the shores of the Black Sea, where so many Russians dream of living. Living in this area had been a personal dream of mine for a very long time. And as I wrote this into my life scenario, I envisioned myself there with my family. If it weren't for the opportunity with Atomy, this would have been absolutely unthinkable. But I made this dream come true, and with Atomy, this is only the beginning. I have a lifelong dream that is written in my current life scenario. I truly want to establish a church. When my house burned down, when I tragically lost my beloved son, and when it was hard for me to make a living, my heart was broken. At that difficult time, I found comfort in a church far from my village, and I still remember the pastor's kind words. Don't blame yourself for anything. And I found a renewed hope to live again. After all, so many people truly need the church, just as it helped me. Building a church requires a lot of investment. That's why my main goal right now is to reach the prestigious rank of Imperial Master. And I will definitely achieve it. When I first started with Atomy, I wanted to attend the seminars held in Vladivostok, but it was quite difficult. Back then, I found myself in a difficult situation because there was nowhere for me to stay and I had no money. At that time, a kind sculptor offered to let me stay at his house, and we began working closely together on the Atomy business. I truly can't begin to express how grateful I felt back then. He was so impressed by Mr. Parkhangel's management philosophy that he watched his lectures every single day. Unfortunately, after half a year, it was exactly a year ago that he sadly passed away. But before his departure, he managed to meticulously create a magnificent statue of our highly esteemed chairman. In his final will and testament, he specifically requested that, if it were at all possible, this work should be presented to Mr. Parkhangel. On this particular occasion, I found that I simply couldn't take it with me, so I had to make other arrangements. Instead, I took a photograph of it. I want to express my heartfelt and sincere gratitude to our chairman, Park Hang-il, for giving me the opportunity to do business in such a wonderful organization. I am also deeply grateful to all the Atamians who provided me with support at the very beginning and continue to support me to this day. Our team is growing and developing every day, putting their whole heart and dreams into this work. I sincerely hope that people all over the world who are experiencing financial or personal difficulties will achieve success through Atomy, just as I did. With this goal in mind, I am dedicated to helping my partners achieve their own success. Together, we are opening centers around the world so that as many people as possible can learn about such a bright and reliable company. I am reaching out to Atomy members from all over the world. Dare to dream boldly and with courage. If you have a big dream, you must take action. I traveled all the way across Russia like crazy, completely alone, day and night, covering over 9,000 kilometers. And I did everything I had for the sake of my dear family. In the end, I finally reached my goal. I did it for the sake of my dream and for the sake of true success. Let the year of 2024 be a truly remarkable period of steady, sustainable, and progressive development for us all. We sincerely appreciate your time today, and thank you very much for your kind attention.